Okay, can anyone hear me? Am I sounding okay? Am I too loud, too quiet? Okay, I'm just going to have to assume that my voice is coming across. Um, so anyway, I'm Erok. I am the developer of the Scorpion engine, and today I'm going to be working on a third-party project. So this is an unofficial port of a game called Midnight Wanderers. As you can see, the developer for the port, DomKid, has already made a bridge that animates up and down, but the problem is it's not, as it currently is, it's not really functional. And obviously we can't ride up and down on it yet, so we want to see if we can fix that today. So this is going to be a bit of an experiment. We haven't really done anything like this before with Scorpion Engine. Um, I guess I've made some assumptions about what it should be able to support, but it's possible that I might run into a brick wall at some point. But to start with, I want to tidy it up a little bit. So what we've got is we've got 17 actors, so that's one for each section of the bridge. I think that's too many. I think we can just do it all with just one um, tile, but we will need to rework it a bit. So let's get. I'm going to get. What was it? Is it actors? Okay, so I'm going to. Wave one. Okay, so I'll replace all of these with wave one, and if I run it again, what I expect is the entire bridge is going to go up and down as one long segment. Um, that's fine because I need to. Yep. So that's what I expected. It all goes up and down as one segment, but we want to simplify the project a bit. So we are going to make it so that the animation um, starts on a different frame depending on where it is in the level. So we haven't got a spawn code block. Let's make a spawn code block. Bridge spawn. And we just need to set this one as bridge spawn. And then we need to work out what segment this is. I'm going to make a variable called segment. And then I'm just going to set that segment to actor x divided by 16 and then mod by 17, because there are 17 frames, I think. I better double check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yep. So there's 17 frames. We want to set our segment to we want to set our segment to the what column of tile we are. So that's why we're doing actor y by 16 to get the tile column, and then mod by 17 so that it wraps around to a value between 0 and 16. So if I then go actor, I probably should have an option here for setting just the frame, but animation is just fine. So I'm going to go just set it to the animation it's already playing, and then, whoops, and then on frames, I am just going to set it to segments. And hopefully this is going to make it look a little bit more like it did before. Yep. Okay, so that's exactly like what it was like before, but we got a lot fewer. We only need one actor, so I'm going to get rid of all of those actors except for wave 1. I'll just make sure it still compiles, just in case there's a reference to it somewhere. No, okay, that looks good. We don't need any of these other animations either, so let's get rid of I guess it's demi wave. Okay, so we've got it's sort of by type, so we don't need any of them except for wave 1. And I'll just run it again, make sure it still works, if there's no references to those animations I've just deleted. Okay, no, that's still working the same as it was, but we've got a lot fewer animations, we've got a lot fewer actors. The difficulty is going to be that let's see a collision box. Okay, yeah, so the difficulty is we can't really move the collision box. I don't allow the collision box to be moved at real time in Scorpion because that introduces all sorts of issues with actors sort of phasing through walls. It's also because we've got so limited RAM on the Mega Drive and the Neo Geo, there's a lot of stuff that's just burned into the ROM. So things that are burned into the ROM, like the collision volumes, we do not allow those to change ever. So I will need to flatten this animation. Or to start with, I'll need to flatten this animation. So you see it's currently going up. We can't really have it going up like that because we need it to sorry, we cannot have it going up like that because we need it to we need the collision volume to stay the same, which means the animation has to be aligned to the ground. So that's what we're going to need to do next. But I'm going to make a note of the height of each frame. So because I'll be flattening the animation, I need to know, well, how much do I need to make it move up and down by. So I need to track a few things. Just make notes of them in Calc, and then I can copy it into a text file or something later. 17. So I need to track what the old Y offset was for each of them. So I've got negative 16. That is also negative 16. We've got negative 32. That one is also negative 32. Then we've got negative 38. Negative 44. Negative 54. Negative 42. So this part of the wave, it's going back in the other direction. Two. 4. Negative 44. Negative 38. Should be just 4 left to go after this one. Yep. Negative 32. That one is also negative 32. Negative 16. And I'm guessing the last one will be negative 16. So it's, yeah, so it's basically looks kind of like a mirror. So the first 8 should be like a reverse of the last 8. Okay, so I need to align them now. Now the way they've got it set is this bit here is basically where the ground is. So that is where the foot should be aligned with right here. So I need to try to get that aligned. So yeah, I think, whoops. Should have done it from that side. Okay, so that's negative 5. Yeah, that looks okay. Maybe that trim should be down. Yeah, I think that's better aligned there. That needs to be up a little bit. Okay, those ones are actually the same image. This one might be a different image. Yeah. Just okay. All right, so that's at the top of the arc, down the other side. That'd be up at well, I hope this is going to be aligned close enough. If it's not exactly perfect, then it can be tweaked a bit. Okay, so let's. Okay, so that looks basically like the height is constant now. I'm just going to run it in the game. Yep. Okay, so it's moving. It's just not uh it's just not, floating up and down, which is fine. That's what we expect at this point. I do need to move this collision box so that that's where it was before relative to the rest of the tile. Okay, so that's looking okay. We just need to get it moving up and down one way or another. So there's various ways we could do that, but most important thing we need to do now is to record what the new offsets are, and I'm going to do it backwards at both sides because just to make sure that it is perfectly aligned. Negative 13. Okay, so the next three are negative 13. 7, negative 18. Then we've got negative 4. And I assume the last one is negative 5, which it is. Okay, so that is the arc going up, and it stops at the top, and then it should be the same going down. So it should be, next one should be negative 4, negative 18. Yep. The next three should be negative 13. No, they're not. Okay, so I will need to just correct those three to be consistent with the other side of the arc. Um, and that should be negative 4 and negative 5, which it is. Okay, so what we can then work out from the new offset and the old offset is what we're going to call the delta. So that is going to be how far up or down the actual bridge should, like how far the actor should move up or down. So let's work that out. So if we go B2 minus C2, I might need to reverse the order of that. Yeah, I should have started with C2 minus B2. And then I'm going to remove 11 from it because that's sort of the base offset. Okay, so what we've got there is we've got a bunch of numbers that we could feed into a lookup table, or we can pretty much set it anywhere. In fact, I might so it's one of those problems where there's 5 different ways to do it, and it's not super clear what the best way to do it is. But having said that, putting it in a lookup table what that means is that I can change. It makes it easier to tweak the numbers if we need to do that in the future. So I'm going to go. Actually, let's get rid of that. We're going to new folder, and I am going to call this data, and I am going to make a file and call this wave offsets. So lookup tables are a very, very new feature in Scorpion Engine. It's just a way of being able to have data that's in a text file in separate lines outside of code. It also means it doesn't burn up any additional memory. It gets baked onto the ROM. So even though lookup tables are read only, they do not burn up any additional memory like using arrays would do. I mean, it's basically a read-only array with this data outside of the program. So anyway, so I'm going to go add lookup table. We need a text file assigned, so let's go to wave offsets. We need to give it a name. I'll just call that wave offsets, just like the text file. Okay, so we've set the height that each object should be at any particular time. So we need to know where the actor is at when it spawned. The reason for that is, so we need to have a base to say, okay, well, at this frame we want to add 20. So let's just have actor var1 to actor y. That's nice and easy. And then in the on timer, so let's add a bridge on timer. All we should need to do I'm going to add a new variable, which is current frame, and then I'm going to set that variable current frame to actor frame. The reason is actor frame is a special variable. So since it's a special variable, we can't really feed it into lookup table so easily. So what I've it's just something with Scorpion that I need to improve the ability to put anything at all into an array. But at the moment, having a simple variable for the array index, that's the safest thing to do. So if I then go actor position, so I want to move the position to was it var1 I set it to? Yep, so I want to set it to actor var1 and then minus, and the reason we're doing minus is because all of these are positive. All of these are positive values, but to go up on the screen we need to go negative. In fact, that's just a little bit confusing. I'm just going to reverse that. Okay, that makes more sense. Let's save that. Do let me know if you can hear me. I can see there's a few people and a few viewers that haven't seen any chat yet. Oh, and that should be plus because I reversed the data in this lookup table. And I need to set this here. Now this is very experimental. It's using some things that are very new to Scorpion, so there's no guarantee it's going to work. I hope it's going to work, but we will have to see. Okay, so bridge on timer, so it's going to run that code every frame, and I'll just see what happens here. Yep, okay, so it's sort of working. We can jump on the bridge, but it doesn't really work so far as so you see it's not really riding up and down on the bridge. And that is, well, it sort of is, but sort of isn't, because like if I go on the top, you see I fall down, but if I'm at the bottom, I don't go up. And that the reason for that is because Scorpion uses the speed variable to work out how fast a platform should be carrying an actor up or down. So I'm going to need to rework some things here. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go none. Okay, so that's still the same as it was before. The next thing we need to do is we need to set the actor speed so we can calculate that by I'm going to create a variable called old y, and then set variable. I hope this works. This is the sort of thing that might not work if like the order of things being executed in the engine isn't what I remembered it as, but we'll find out. So we want to. Oh no, we don't want to set actor y. We want to set the old y to being the actor y. So we remember what the actor y is on the previous frame, and then we move it. And then we set the speed. So if I go actor, if I set the speed of the actor now, because this is a none actor, it's not actually going to move it up or down. Base. Sorry, it is not going to move it up or down. Based on the speed, because none just has no code for moving an object. We're moving it manually in code blocks, but we should still be able to use the speed to have the actor riding the platform better. So I'm going to set that to the new actor position minus the old actor position. So if it goes up 5 pixels, then we know, yeah, the Y speed upwards is 5 pixels a second. Or, sorry, not 5 pixels a second, 5 pixels a frame. Yeah, that's a little better. I think maybe part of the problem is, yeah, it's sort of working, but we can fall through it quite easily. There are ways there are things we could do to investigate, how do we make it better. I think the first thing we should do is we should have a look at what's called the platform snap or snap. Oh, have I renamed the variable? I thought it was. Did I? Oops. Okay, I used to have a variable. Let's just turn that off for a sec. I used to have a variable that would determine how sensitive uh, the actor was to getting on a platform, like how many pixels it would go up or down. I think I might have deleted that to make because I did a bit of a tidy up and then it was no longer needed. I thought that was still part of Scorpion Engine. I guess it is not. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to try some other things. Um, yeah, if I had a way to snap the say increase the number of pixels an actor would move up or down to get on the platform, that would be one way to fix it. But I don't. So let's try doing something a little bit different. Well, let's try increasing that by quite a lot. Let's make that the entire height of the object. No, still not. I think yeah. So I think the problem is just it's not snapping to the it is not snapping to the right place. Because like it works just fine on one actor, but as soon as I go to a different actor, then it just stops working. So I'll need a more clever solution than because yeah, I think yeah, it's just if I'm so if this was just one actor, um, it would be fine. I could walk back and forward on it. Because it's stepping between them, it doesn't quite work so well. Um, I have got an idea that's a bit of a hack, but it's probably a better way of managing it. You just need to think. Well, let's try this. So we can do a collide with player event. Um, so let's call this bridge collide. So we've got bridge collide, and then we can do something like condition if player y is greater than actor y, then player position move that to actually I'm gonna go greater than or equal, and then I'm gonna move that to actor -1. Okay, let's see if that makes any difference at all.